everyone, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I've got a little bit of a different layout share with you today. So today I'm actually sharing the process of making two 6x8 layouts. Now they're not double page spreads, they're going to be back to back. They're all just individual pages in a holiday album. Now I started this album I think a good 3 years ago, and I'm over halfway now, but this is the first time I've touched it in 1, if not even 2 years. Like, it's been a long time. But this March, Scrapmadness has just motivated me to get back into it. I've nearly caught up with, in terms of 12x12, I'm basically up to date. I haven't passed scrapped. I started scrapbooking Project Life for the first time in 2015, 2016. And then I incorporated 12x12's 2017. So my 2017, 2018, 2019 album are all done. My 2020 album is basically up to date. My boys' 1 year, Jack's 1 year album and Tom's 1 year album is done, apart from all the journaling and bits and pieces on the Project Life side of that. But in terms of I don't really do process videos of those. I can. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. I never really do Project Life process videos though. So do let me know if that's something you'd like to see. But in terms of 12x12s, yeah, I'm basically where I need to be. So I thought, what a great place to be. I'm going to pull out this 6x8 album that I started all those many years ago and get rolling with it. Now for me, 6x8s are easy because they're small, but they're also challenging because I had so many photos that I wanted to fit onto a page. So for me, I actually spent a really long time preparing. So I went through all of my photos and sort of grouped them together, like what happened on each day. And then I even went through like Pinterest and basically planned all of my layouts to be scrap lifts. I do vary from that, absolutely, as I actually start making the layout. But by picking a layout to sort of scrap lift, it gave me a basic idea of the formation of the page. And by then having that formation, it gave me an idea of what size and how to print my photographs. And that was vital for me because I couldn't print as I went along. It just wasn't the way that I scrapbook. And at the time, I didn't have a self-printer, like a selfie. I needed to print them at Officeworks, and I wasn't going to go to Officeworks every time I felt like doing one of these pages. So that is the way that I organized and printed off my photos. Now, I use the Project Life app, and all of my photos are either 2x3 size, or there are occasionally a 3x4 size as well. There's not really that many bigger ones. The reason why we went to Vietnam was for a wedding, and I do have 1 or 2 full 4x6 photos of like the bride and groom and all of that at the wedding. But otherwise, there's just so many photos happening on a page that these particular photos were printed at 2x3, but they have since been cut down, and they're even just that little bit smaller as well. I think they're about 2 inches. Yeah, I think they're about 2 inches high now. I'm trying to think. How many would have been on a page? There would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was probably 8 of these on a page, which means they weren't 2x3. They would have been 2x1.5. So very small photos. But to be able to have this many on a page, I needed them that small. The collections I'm using are a big, massive mishmash. There's some Brijek Shop, which is Ellie's Studio. There is some Kaiser Craft. There, like that backing paper there is Aldi, I believe. Like, there is just a little bit of everything. I was even gifted a tropical themed Happy Mail, which was perfect for this album. So I've even incorporated that. And the Getaway thickers, like the Vacation thicker set that is quite old now, but new-ish, not 3 years old, like maybe a year or 2 old. I'm definitely incorporating that into that layout. So as you could see, the previous layout is done, and I didn't talk about it at all, but it made a lot of common sense. I didn't do anything super tricky with that. Backed the photos in like a film strip type venue and then just filled in the gaps. This one, I'm I've taken I think it's a 6x6 cut apart, maybe a snap collection. I'm not 100% sure. It was gifted to me as well from someone in America, so it's not an Australian thing. I think maybe snap, but I don't know. And so I really wanted to put that sun and clouds at the top. So I just popped that one on, and then the other half of the page I actually put on down the bottom just to fill in that gap. And then the photo, so here's a 4x6 photo, just fits perfectly across the page. And then that little one of the boats is 3x4 size. And I'm going to stick it off just a little bit and chop those corners down. I pre-did all of my journaling. So my journaling was taken from my diary as the trip went. I wrote a little mini diary, just really simple. And also obviously from the photos themselves about what was happening. I typed all that out on the computer and printed it all off at the time. So that has just been sitting. So all of my photos, all of the sketches I was using. So I printed every single sketch. Everything was all organized and ready to go. So now that I'm picking this up again, a year, if not 2 years later, it's been really super easy to just step back into it because everything's there. All the sketches are there. All the photos are already pre-printed in their appropriate sizes. All of the journaling is done. I even have kits made up of the whole sort of my Vietnam trip kit. So I could just sit down and get started. So these two particular layouts were so super quick and easy. And that's why I put them together on the one video. So I hope seeing some smaller sized layouts have helped you. I do definitely take these as, I make them as busy, I suppose, as I would a normal 12x12. I think it's important to look at this size as an individual layout, just like you would with a 12x12, and try and do the same things you would normally do. So still try and put your clusters on, still try and put your heading, your title and your journaling on, but you might just scale it all back just a little bit. So these particular thickers are on their last legs. I'm almost done with them. I'm definitely using this project to kill some stash, that is for sure. So to do, obviously I doctored the E, we all do that. And to do this ampersand, I have taken the number 8, taken the letter J and cut a little curvy stick from the kick at the bottom of the J and put that onto here. And I also cut the little top off the J, which is, when it goes down and across like a T, and I've stuck that on the bottom as well of the ampersand. So I don't know if it was necessarily necessary, but I liked having the letter finish more completely. You might have noticed earlier I only put 2 bits of of double-sided tape or foam tape onto my photo. I noticed it was dropping in the center, so I just popped an extra one on, throwing in some few rhinestones from Kaisercraft. And then I'm going to pop over to my close-up photos. So I'm going to return to the first layout and show you a couple of close-up photos and then the second layout. So as I said earlier, they will actually be back-to-back in my album. They're all, in my particular album, they're all standalone pieces. So even though these all go together as an event, so this was the Hoi An, we were doing cooking school. We walked around the markets to buy all the supplies we needed. Then we had a boat trip to head off to the location of where the cooking school was, and then my next videos will show you the next part of the day. So even though they're all together, they're still individual layouts. Anywho, coming to the end, so thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.